Good evening, Tallahassee. Welcome to the first Thursday show of the spring 2025 semester. I am student meteorologist Chris Malve. Let's take a live look at Doak right now. You can see we do have some clouds, but overall mostly sunny conditions right now. We're at 69 degrees. We have a little bit of a breeze out of the south at 8 miles an hour. As we take a look at our local radar, there was a brief scattered shower moving to the west of Panama City, but for most of the area, very clear conditions right now, just beautiful weather outside. But folks, beware tonight. We do have the chance for fog as the temperatures dip back down into the 50s. And as we look towards tomorrow, we can still see some of that fog in the morning, and it'll be quite breezy tomorrow. And our temperature will be at 76 degrees. For tonight's headlines, we're going to be recapping some of this winter weather we've been seeing here in Tallahassee, and also the warming temperatures that we've been seeing, and we're going to be talking all things sports. All this and more on FSU Weather.
Welcome to this edition of FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Matthew Wisnett.
And I'm student meteorologist Chris Malve. Man, it's really been, we've been having some really interesting weather here, especially last week we had that historic winter storm make its way through Florida. We're going to be talking a little bit more about that on tonight's show. But Matt, what have you been thinking about the current weather? Like, we've been warming up quite a bit recently.
Yeah, it's been kind of pleasant to be outside tomorrow. I know I got to walk to my 8 a.m., so I got to be really careful of that fog tomorrow when I'm walking to my programming class. But other than that, it's been very nice to be outside. I've been able to walk outside in shorts and a t-shirt and been feeling very nice overall. And speaking of what it looks like outside, we're going to pan it over to Priscilla on the wall. What does it look like right now in Tallahassee, Priscilla?
Yes, thank you, Ryan and Matt. Currently, across Tallahassee, look at that gorgeous sunset. Those beautiful cirrus clouds are really making a beautiful background for tonight's evening. So currently it's 69 degrees, mostly sunny, got a couple of clouds scattered about with some slight breezes, but overall pretty comfortable and generally very warm. As for our radar, we're not seeing any precipitation in sight, maybe just a couple scattered showers off to the coast, but we're going to see a lot of cloud cover move in and really a line of storms develop on Friday and make its way eastward. So keep that in mind, but we're not going to be feeling that right now. Current temperatures across the region, we're sitting on roughly either side of 70, so a little warm, a little cool, but it's definitely going to cool down overnight. And as for our dew points, we're seeing a lot of dry air, mostly off to our north into our southern Georgia counties, with a lot of the moisture more off to the west. We've got 53 here in Tallahassee and 44 in Valdosta. So definitely pretty dry up there, but we're going to be seeing a lot of that moisture make its way into our area for the next couple of days. As for today's temperature almanac, it was a lot more warm than we have been used to. Our high and low were roughly above our average high and low, so a little bit close to our record high at 83, but today we were 76, so we're inching close to there, and we're going to see that warming trend continue for just a little bit. Overnight, it's going to get a little bit chilly down to 54, but really you want to make sure to be aware of that fog into the early morning hours. So if you have an early commute, make sure to not put your brights on. You don't want to blind any other drivers, but definitely stay safe as you head into the morning hours. Across the region, we're seeing similar temperatures, roughly around 52, 53, so it's going to be pretty chilly. Winter is not over yet, so definitely hold on to your morning sweater since you will need it. Tomorrow, it's going to get up to 76, so pretty similar to today with a lot stronger breezes at 14 miles an hour, so you might need, again, that little jacket, but layers are important because you're going to be shedding them as the day goes on. Looking hour by hour, 6 a.m., it's going to be pretty chilly, but it will warm up pretty fast to 70 by noon. And into tomorrow, again, roughly 70s and into the 60s down by Apalachicola. But one look at the week ahead, we're seeing those warmer temperatures really increasing. But now Matt is going to give us a look at Florida.
Yes, we look at Florida through all these beautiful cameras. You can see beautiful sunsets over here in Panama City, just a lot of different colors here. And behind me in Tampa, you can see even a little bit of a pink hue in a lot of these cities, as it's looking very nice overall. 70s for the most part, a little bit of 60s over in the main panhandle regions of Pensacola and Tallahassee, but overall looking very nice. As we go into the southern regions in Miami, they are seeing those 80 degrees, much warmer temps for them than what it was last week when we had all that snow. They had a lot more colder temperatures. And Tampa, tomorrow when that low system moves through, we could see some rain in the Bay Area, so make sure you bring a jacket or an umbrella tomorrow for work, as it could be a little rainy for your Saturday plans. Orlando, a little bit less chance of rain, but overall you can see it'll get a little bit colder on Saturday, so it might be a better day to be outside, even though it'll be a little bit more cloudy. But if you don't like that sun, might be a better day to enjoy it. Jacksonville, you can see temperatures will drop off on Saturday as well when that system moves through, but overall those temperatures will be looking very nice for your outdoor plans. And in Pensacola, you can see this stormy day tomorrow. You're definitely going to want that umbrella and jacket. Give yourself some extra time on the road tomorrow, as it will be very wet. Not a great day to be outside for any of your outdoor plans. If you're trying to go play some pickup basketball or soccer, you're probably going to want to hold off on that due to the rain amounts we're going to see. You can see in South Florida, very clear right now, not a lot going on, maybe a couple of clouds passing through, but very clear right now if you're trying to have any outdoor plans. In the Central Florida regions, you can see very similar, maybe some stray clouds popping through the region, but overall looking very nice. Tallahassee, these clouds are starting to push through. You can see over on the western side of our look here, there are some stray showers pushing through on the I-10 corridor, but overall, very nice for your plans. But you can see Friday, this rain front is going to move through all the way through. It's going to start dissipating. So if you are Gainesville or north, you are going to see a little bit more chances of rain. But in Orlando, you probably won't have that high chance. A lot more clouds for your Saturday overall. But in Tallahassee, maybe not the best day to go play some ultimate frisbee or be outside, because you will see some storms in the afternoon as well. In Jacksonville and Pensacola, same story. Driving in the Panhandle may not be your best option with that front moving through overall. But for any other plans you have, it should be very nice. Tonight, 50s in a lot of these regions in Florida, but the more south you go, the warmer it is. But clouds for a lot of these regions on these eastern half of the peninsula overall. But in Tallahassee, we will see some fog, so make sure you are prepping for that. If you are going out tomorrow, you're going to want those fog lights on when you're driving. Tomorrow in Florida, you can see we'll start getting into the 70s, but you can see up here in these regions is where we will see our chances of rain be a little bit higher. In Central Florida, you might get some clouds, but going down more south, you will see better, more sunshine overall. But Chris, what is it going to look like overall in the southeast?
Thanks, Matt. So as we take a look at the southeast right now, we can see some cloudy conditions over in Charlotte, North Carolina. But in other portions of the southeast, pretty sunny conditions. Look at this, Tampa Bay. Very nice and pleasant. A bit warm, though, at 78 degrees. As we take a look at some of our other cameras, Richmond, Virginia, 50 degrees. Looks like the sun's starting to set there. And then New Orleans, kind of similar to Tampa, maybe a little bit more cloud cover, but temperatures are in the 70s right now. And for the southeast, you can see we're a little bit warmer over towards Mississippi, Alabama, even to Louisiana. New Orleans is at 73. But the further north you go, it is a little bit cooler. Nashville has some showers right now. It is in the upper 40s right now. As we take a look at those winds, you can see it's pretty gusty right now, especially over towards Mobile, Memphis, and New Orleans. And I expect those winds to pick up as we do have some severe weather on the way. As you can see, we have this squall line of showers and thunderstorms right here. It's going to be moving throughout the southeast throughout Friday. And you can see here, Friday around 6 o'clock, this band of rain will make its way into Tallahassee and just past Atlanta. So we're going to be seeing our big rainmaker system really just move throughout the southeast throughout the day on Friday. That will kind of continue into the overnight hours, but South Florida, you can kind of expect some clouds from that. And as we look at that muggy cast, you can kind of see this dry line, these brown colors right here will continue to move over towards the east, and our dew points will cool down as a result of that low pressure system. But South Florida still staying pretty muggy as we would expect, but our dew points are much lower in other parts of the southeast like Tallahassee, 44 right there. And as I mentioned earlier, we do have a risk for severe weather, especially over here in parts of Louisiana there. We could be expecting some damaging winds, hail, and we cannot rule out the possibility of a tornado. As we look towards that day 2 outlook, we do have a marginal risk of severe weather for parts of the Florida Panhandle right here. And as we look at day 3, no alerts so far, which is good news. So it should be very pleasant weather all around the southeast on Saturday. But I'm going to take a look at a couple of cities here. Charlotte, again, as I've been mentioning, we do have this system moving through, so our big rainy day is going to be on Friday. That's where you're going to really want to have an umbrella on hand. But fortunately, looking towards the weekend, it is going to cool down a little bit, but it's looking pretty nice. We do have sun in our forecast. Nashville, we're going to see our temperatures begin to cool down Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Tampa, my hometown, going to be quite warm. Look at this, even getting into the 80s by Sunday and Monday. New Orleans, pretty similar, but it's going to be in the high 60s, low 70s. And now I'm going to hand off to Priscilla. We've been seeing a lot of the severe weather, but what does it look like elsewhere around the country?
Yeah, around the country, we're seeing some pretty even temperatures, mostly in the 40s at this time of day. You know, we're starting to cool down a little bit as we go into nighttime. So especially in our mountainous areas over here, we're seeing lots of chillier temperatures. But in the southeast, our big story is a lot of this warm area that is going to, well, actually cool down in a couple days thanks to a front making its way. So again, like I mentioned, all of this moisture is really due to that front, and you can see this boundary right here with that dry air behind. That's what we're going to be feeling in a couple of days, but we're not quite there yet. Rest of the country is pretty dry, though. We're seeing a lot of dew points in the 20s, even 18 in Billings, Montana. But overall, not too much going on, except if you are in the mid-Atlantic states, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, where we're seeing a lot of rain showers and potential severe storms, especially also in the Louisiana area where we are tracking a potential for severe storms and possibly tornadoes. So we've got a couple of alerts going on right now, a lot of winter storm advisories, especially in the Pacific Northwest. They've got lots of advisories and warnings, especially with some wind advisories in the Wyoming area. We've also got some potential for flooding in Arkansas with those storm systems really just dumping buckets of rain onto the lower middle states over here. And as well, we do have some winter storm advisories in New York and Pennsylvania as well. So if you're in those areas, definitely take that into account and make sure to prepare accordingly. However, for our rainfall, we're seeing totals topping out roughly around 1.5 to 2.5 inches, but on the western coast we're seeing a bit more of a concentrated amount of rain, roughly near the San Francisco area and creeping up into Seattle and Portland, Oregon area. As for snowfall, we're sitting pretty dry here in the States. We're seeing a lot of the snowfall concentrated up in Canada actually, but again, our mountainous regions, especially Idaho, is going to be feeling a lot of snow as we go through the next couple of days. So our temperature outlook is showing us that we're going to have a lot more warmer temperatures throughout the next week or so, but something to look forward to, a light cooling down, or really not as rapid of large difference in temperatures. So keep that in mind, something to look forward to. It won't be this hot very soon. As for tonight, like I've said before, we are still in winter. Winter's not over yet, so a lot of our lows are definitely pretty cool and chilly for now. But heading into tomorrow, we're going to be seeing those temperatures warming up just a little bit, even reaching 79 in Miami. So definitely a lot of those colder temperatures also in Idaho. We're seeing a couple of snow showers as well. But, you know, let's actually talk about winter weather. What's going on?
That's right. So as many of you know, especially if you're from the South, we had a historic winter storm event. We had Winter Storm Enzo move through the area, and it shattered many records. Now, unfortunately, it didn't break the record here in Tallahassee, but in other parts of the Southeast, it was truly a historic event, truly once in a generational event here. As you can see, in New Orleans, they got 8 inches of snow. I even saw some footage online. People were having snowball fights down on Bourbon Street. So that was pretty wild to see, just not something you see every day. And even in Mobile, Alabama, 7.5 inches of snow, which is quite a lot. Even in Pensacola, 8.9 inches